Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you for joining me this morning. Of course, guys, the morning after. Well, it was the morning last night. Man United defeated West Ham United by 2-1 in a pre-season friendly, which was all in all, a much better display than the game against Leeds United a few weeks ago, guys. So delighted Man United won the game, but there's many questions that we have to ask, and I'm going to get right into that very, very soon, guys. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video. If you guys could do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, you absolute legends, of course, for joining me this morning. I know some of you stayed up late to watch the game. Unfortunately, I didn't stay up late to watch the game. I was traveling for 24 hours. I needed to recharge the batteries. That's what needed to happen yesterday. Guys, now let's get into it. A few things I want to take from the game yesterday in regards to the shape, the system, the team. Now, it's pretty obvious that Bruno Fernandes is a number 10. I've said it for many, many weeks that Bruno Fernandes is a number 10 and we shouldn't sacrifice the team shape to fit Bruno Fernandes into a number 8. Now, the question comes with when Mbeumo comes to Man United, when he eventually plays for Man United, where is Mbeumo going to play if Bruno Fernandes is going to move to the number 8? If Bruno Fernandes is a number 10, right, are we going to move Mbeumo into a different position? Are we going to move Mbeumo into the right wing? You know, because I look at it and I think that, you know, Man United are a far better team with Bruno as a number 10 than Bruno as a number 8. You know, you'd be delusional to think any otherwise. Every time Bruno plays as a number 8, we look a little bit, the team shape doesn't look good. We look, you know, unbalanced. When Bruno plays as number 10, he's effective. Now that we signed Mbeumo would definitely play the number 10. He won't play to the right wing. I know he can play right wing, but I think he's going to play in number 10. So that would mean that Bruno's definitely going to play in the number 8. There's no doubt about it. What do you think of that? Should we sacrifice team balance for individuals? Should we do that? I know Bruno's an important player, but we have to look forward as well. And he had a great game yesterday, but obviously it's a friendly, but we have to look forward as well. It's a good problem in a way that Man United have got a big squad. Man United have not got a big squad, but we got some players to replace him if he's not there. Will Mbeumo play as a right wing? Can he play as a right wing? I mean, I look at that. He did play right wing against Brentford, and I'm starting to think that, you know what, maybe Ruben Amorim might deploy him as a right winger. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, no way. He might do, because it could possibly happen, because Bruno is, for me, he's ineffective in that number 8 position. And I said it time and time again. Every time Bruno plays as a number 8, it doesn't look good. You know what I mean? It doesn't. But when he plays at number 10, is his natural position throughout his career. It's good, guys. And that is the point I want to make. There were a number of great performances yesterday. I mean, good performances. You had Ugarte had a good performance yesterday. Of course, Kobe Mainoo looked very good yesterday. De Ligt looked good yesterday. So I'm glad to see that. The squad is starting to get back together. You know what I mean? I'm glad to see there are good performances happening. Rasmus looked more impressive, although finishing still was a little bit questionable. He did look powerful up front. He did look quick up front. And having watched back the game over this morning, I feel like he's getting better. He's getting better, but still the finishing needs a lot to be desired. He kind of rushes at strikes sometimes. He kind of rushes the ball a little bit, in my opinion. But again, the question is, Bruno Fernandes at a number 10. Would you keep Bruno Fernandes at number 10, play Mbeumo as a right winger, instead of moving Bruno into number 8 and destabilizing the squad, destabilizing the team, changing the system, basically? You know, the shape of the team gets effective. Now, I want to say that Mainoo and Ugarte looked good yesterday. I think they added balance into that midfield. And as we've always said on this channel, midfield is very important. I thought Mainoo and Ugarte was superb. I think they're adding that much-needed balance. And we haven't seen this partnership enough, I don't think. I don't think we've seen this partnership enough. Sometimes you have to think about the team, the shape of the team, the balance of the team, before you think about individuals, right? Look, back in the day, I liked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Andy Cole, Teddy Sheringham, Dwight York. But we couldn't play him in all the same team because it would affect the balance of the team, is it? If we played them all in the same team. Sometimes you have to sacrifice someone to affect the balance of the team. A bit like what England used to do when we had the golden generation of Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard. Of course, we would try and fit them all into the team. But it didn't. In reality, what England were crying out for is a Michael Carrick. with one of them, rather than trying to squeeze all those players into the team. And that's my point of that. Big up, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me. You absolute legends. Hope you're good, of course, guys. Saviour, good morning. Good morning, sir. The game against West Ham, we played well in the first half. Yep, I agree. Absolutely. Good morning, Sanjay. I agree with Kenny here. Ugarte man of the match. Absolutely. Exactly what we were talking about. It's all about having a preseason. Now that Ugarte is going to have a preseason under his belt, I'm pretty sure that Ugarte is going to be fire next season. I'm banking on it, guys. I really am. Absolutely. Big up Helge, the legend. Helginho. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Morning, everyone. This must be a farm because there is a goat in present. Thank you, Helge. You're so lovely, mate. Thank you so much for a lovely compliment. The first half was all right. Right? You had any question if you didn't see it? Ugarte, De Ligt, and Mainu World Cup. I watched it back, Helge. I don't like to come on stream and talk nonsense about, you know what, the team and stuff if I didn't watch the game. I actually watched it back. Sad for me, I know. I did watch it back. And I mean, Kobe Mainu, Ugarte, De Ligt was solid. I liked bits and bobs about Rasmus's performance as well. Fernandes, good. Obviously, he's going to get the accolades because he got the goals. Very good finish for the first goal. Brilliant. Obviously, the keeper of West Ham was a little bit questionable, but very, very good goal, of course. And Fernandes with penalties. Fernandes is the best penalty taker in the world. I think he's one of the best penalty takers of all time, in my humblest of opinions. I really do think that. But you know what? What I would say, yeah, look, a better performance as was the Leeds. Compared to the Leeds United performance, a very good performance. But what I would do is just take this, as I did with the Leeds game, and take it with a pinch of salt and say that, yeah, okay, it's a friendly and that we won't get carried away. Because the most important thing about friendly is picking out certain things about the game which were good. Now, look, guys, at the end of the day, there are people out there who are going to turn around and say, I told you about Bruno. I told you. Soon as they get a little bit of ammunition, they're going to be saying that now. But we've always said that Bruno's a number 10. And Bruno should not be accommodated to fit into that number 8 just because he's your favorite player. It shouldn't be like that. It should be more about the team balance than anything else. And as we saw yesterday with Ugarte and Mainu, it's very important that we maintain a balance. And that is a balanced midfield, in my opinion. Guys, if that works, we don't need to buy a midfield. Like I said, because we've got Mainu, who is generational. Mainu came at England international, very young. Played in the Euros final. Was, you know what, we were talking about him being the next big thing at the academy, of course, guys. And if we play him with Ugarte, I think that works. Bruno plays number 10 or nothing. And that is the thing for me. So what do we do there? What do we do with Mbeumo? If Bruno is playing as a number 10, what do we do with Bruno? What do we do with Mbeumo? What do we do with him? Bruno and Mbeumo, it's very similar. What do we do with Mbeumo? So if Bruno plays number 10, which I think he should play, he shouldn't be playing anything else than the number 10. He shouldn't be sacrificed into number 8 position. He is a number 10, one of the best number 10s. So what you're going to do, you're going to get Mbeumo or Bruno. That's the question, guys. I love Mainu and De Ligt in this game. Absolutely brilliant, Hesty. Brilliant performance, I have to say. Brilliant from Mainu, brilliant from Ugarte, brilliant from De Ligt, brilliant from Rasmus, brilliant from all of them. I hope Rasmus hits the back of the net. I really do. I mean, I've lost hope with him. I know I've lost hope with him, but that can be retrieved. That can be. It's not a lost cause. It can be retrieved. We can get it back. He can get it back. He had a couple of good runs yesterday that I thought were absolutely brilliant. It showed me a sign, a spark that, you know what, he has got something. He can turn it around. I really do hope he does because I like the lad. And to be honest with you, you know, I hope he does. He's got the power. He's got the pace. But he seems to like rush at finishes a little bit. He don't articulate his finish. You remember like Bergkamp? He used to hit the ball, finesse the ball, sort of just. You don't need to rush and hit it quickly. Sometimes you just finesse it, and sometimes you can just, you know what I mean, flick the muffin, so to speak, as Helge would say. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I would say. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't have to absolutely, you know, kick it really hard and stuff like that. Guys, I think the thing is discussing about Bruno is a very multi-layered topic. I think Bruno shouldn't be a number 8 in the team, and it's obvious to the world. At the same time, that's a reality we can't change. It's a reality we can't change. But you know what? Sometimes in life, sometimes in football, if you want what's best for your football team, you know what? You're going to have to make a sacrificial lamb. You're going to have to say, right, we're not going to play you. No, I like you, but we can't play you. We can't fit you into the system. We can't. It's not good for our balance. Look, in reality, it's a good problem to have. Because we got Bruno, we got Mbeumo, and we got these players that we can have in the attack. We can rotate it, we can change it. But my biggest concern is that, you know, one plays and one doesn't, and that is it, and that is final. That's the final word. And playing, look, we do need to move on from Bruno. I know there's a lot of Bruno fans out there. I know there's Bruno FC out there. Bruno's a fantastic player. No one denies that. But at the end of the day, we do need to move on from that. We do. And obviously, there are a number of other players we need to move on as well. But obviously, he's going to be the one who's going to be moved into that number 8 position, which obviously affects the midfield. I think it does. I really do. And when you see the Europa League final, when you see what we did in Europa League final when he was playing as a number 8, it didn't work, guys. It's not going to work now, a year later, a year older. And that's one thing I would say. My personal opinion, I would rotate Bruno with Mbeumo. I would rotate Cunha with Bruno as well. Or, you know what, I would sometimes play Bruno and Mbeumo as a right wing, sometimes play him as a number 10, rotate it a little bit, something like that. Because at the end of the day, Bruno's a fantastic number 10 and we kept him. He's a £100 million player. Remember that? We missed out on 100 million. So we got to play him. We're definitely going to play him. And what we have to do is try and work it out because, you know, this is why Ruben Amorim gets paid the big bucks, isn't it? He's got the headache to have, of course. Now, look, Mbeumo is a right winger. Traditionally, he's a right winger. He cuts in. He's on the right wing. Would he take Ahmad's place? You know, and that is the thing. Ahmad, I'm a little bit concerned about. As I said many, many times, I don't think Ahmad is a right wing back or right. You know, I don't think he has the athleticism. I don't think he has the strength to be that at the moment. I do feel he's a bench player. I'll be honest with you guys. I think he is a bench player for now. Not saying he's always going to be a bench player, but I think he's a potential to be a first-team player. I think it'd be much more effective off the bench, in my opinion. That is just humblest of opinions, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Bill. Good morning. How you doing? I've only managed to see 9-minute clips on YouTube, but what I see, we dominated the first half. It made me hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Oh, and a full stadium. It wasn't a full stadium, Bill. There were a lot of empty seats, mate. America has a habit of manipulating the number of people at the game, but there was a lot of empty seats there. I know a few people went to the game and there was a lot of empty seats there, mate. You look at the top tier, mate, it was gone. You know what I mean? But it's good to see a good number of Manchester United fans there, of course, guys. I remember the days, Bill, when we used to sell out stadiums, you know what I mean, in America in the preseason. I remember we used to sell out 80, 100,000 stadiums in America, of course. Bruno is my favourite player in the team, but if the world is that Amorim is our manager, I would sell Bruno, buy Baleba and Mona in a pivot, a new striker and a new goalkeeper, but that's not the reality anymore. I like Ugarte, and I think we should give Ugarte and Manu a chance. I think Ugarte is a fantastic player. We were fighting for Ugarte for over, was it 3 months or something like that? We were fighting for Ugarte, and I think we should give Ugarte a chance. I think Ugarte didn't have a preseason last season, so obviously he was inconsistent. And when you have a player that hasn't had a preseason, it does represent inconsistency. Now, Manu and Ugarte, we saw something there that worked. It worked. So we don't really need to buy any midfielders in that regard, in regards to Baleba, because then that was going to add more problems, obviously, with the players that want to play. I like Bruno. As people know. I'm a friend of Bruno's family. I know I can come on here and I can speak the truth about Bruno, but there's no hatred, there's no agenda, there's nothing. What I would say is this: you wouldn't play Eric Cantona in midfield just to fit him into the team, would you? You wouldn't do that. At the end of the day, Bruno's a number 10. He's not a number 8. And when Bruno plays the number 8, the team looks unbalanced, and that is the reality. You know what I mean? So what we have to understand is that, are we going to play Mbeumo or are we going to play Bruno? That is what the question should be, right? It shouldn't be, oh, we're going to have to play Bruno as a number 8 and we're going to have to play Mbeumo and Cunha as a number 10s. I think the question should be, is it going to be Mbeumo? Is it going to be Bruno? And that is what it should be. Unless we move Ahmad from the right wing, Ahmad goes on the bench and Mbeumo plays on the right wing. That is the question I would ask you, and I would ask everyone. Now, this is not a criticism on Bruno. This is not, because at the end of the day, he is a number 10, and we know he's a number 10, you know, at the end of the day. And he is being sacrificed to play that number 8, and I applaud Bruno for playing number 8, but he doesn't do it as effective as when he's playing a number 10. And I do believe that the team shape is affected when Bruno Fernandes plays a number 8, in my humblest of opinions, guys. But you never know what's going to happen. That, as I said, this preseason is a great equalizer in regards to, you know, what's going to happen with the team, who's going to play, etc., etc. I'm happy that there was a good performances on that pitch yesterday. There were some fantastic performances on the pitch today. Delighted to see Ugarte having a good game. Delighted to see Manu having a good game as well. You know, and De Ligt was rock. It was a rock. It's solid as a rock. Absolutely brilliant. And that's only a good thing. It's only a good thing. And we can't look at the negatives and everything, but we can analyze what we can do and what can improve Man United in the future, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Helge. Kenny, it could be two scenarios. Cunha as a centre forward and Mbeumo and Bruno as number 10, or Mbeumo as a right wing back, Cunha and Bruno. And this is the problem, isn't it, Kenny? Then we're going to be shoehorning players into the positions that they're not really accustomed to. Man United need to play a team that have the players in their best positions. That's what Man United need to do. Over the last 10, 15 years, Man United have shoehorned players into positions that are not their favorite, they're not their best positions. That obviously equates to Man United not playing to the best of ability. Now, I take it back to the Champions League final again in 1999. And this is, I mention this because I always talk about it because it gives a good example of balance and playing players in the right positions. Now, Roy Keane and Paul Scholes were suspended for the Champions League final in 1999. So that great midfielder, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane and David Beckham was not there. So we had to deploy David Beckham as a central midfielder. We had to put Jesper Blomqvist on the left and Ryan Giggs on the right. So Ryan Giggs never plays number right. Ryan Giggs was always notoriously a left midfield. What happened to the team in that game? The team looked unbalanced. They were dominated in midfield. Bayern should have won, which should have been 3 or 4 up. But what happened when we moved Giggs back to left and we moved Beckham to the right? Yeah, it wasn't ideal because we were a little bit open, but we looked far more potent and balanced. This is an example of playing players in their correct position. You don't think that, Ryan Giggs could play up front. You don't think that Paul Scholes could play up front, and he did. But again, you're disrupting what is that player. Why did we buy Cunha for? We didn't buy him to be a striker. Why did we buy him for? We bought him to be a number 10. That's what we bought him for, and we should be playing players in their correct positions. And we shouldn't be shoehorning, squeezing players into positions just because we want them to play, just because they should be playing. You know what I mean? Because we bought him, we spent a lot of money on him, or he's a fan favorite, or he's good with the manager. Do you know what I mean? What we should be doing is playing players in their correct positions and maintaining a balance in that team, because this is where confusion comes in. If we start moving Mbeumo here, Cunha here, Mbeumo right. Look, Mbeumo as a right wing is not a bad shout, I would say, because obviously he played right wing for Brentford. But in that formation, he's going to have to do defensive work. Now, I don't want to see a guy who scored 20 goals last season doing defensive duties. I want to see him attacking. That's what I want to see Mbeumo doing. We need to have Mbeumo and Cunha playing, no doubt. Scored a lot of goals last season. Brilliant. That's what we need. And you know what? Rotate it a little bit. I do fear, however, this could be the scenario that Xerxes might move in there. Or, you know what? It might be Cunha up front and Bruno and Mbeumo as a number 10. Now, that could be a possibility. What do I make of that? I just think it's shoehorning, isn't it? And that's what I don't want to see, of course. Big up Ferguson, what's going on? We desperately need a proper number 8, even though I thought Ugarte and Mane did well, but Dorgu is looking good so far. I told Mans about Dorgu, by the way. I forgot about Dorgu. Again, Dorgu is a fantastic player, and I said he's going to be a fantastic player, and many people were writing him off already after the first season, writing off Dorgu, saying that he's gonna flop, he's a flop, and blah blah blah. Absolute nonsense. He's not going to flop. He's an absolute superb player, guys. Dorgu is going to be one of the best left backs in the world. You mark my words, he will be. And I saw the signs there yet last season. And people who don't really analyze the game, who analyze the game through narrative and through their own opinions, don't look past their own nose. And what it is that I saw a good player in Dorgu last season. And I saw that, I could tell, having watched many games in my life, that he was going to be a great player. He will be a great player next season. Mark my words. And so, and I hope that a lot of those players who flattered to deceive last season, i.e. the Kobe Mainus, etc., the Ugates, will come to the fore, will have a good preseason, and will perform next season. I really do hope so, and I wish them all the best because we need them at the end of the day. Kisa, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Big up yourself. Big up Beacon. What's going on, Beacon? I don't know what that means, but big up yourself. Dembo, morning, Sal. Being in the UK, I didn't watch the match. It was worth watching on replay later on. Watch the first half, Dembo. Look, the game kicked off at 3 a.m. here in the UAE, where I am. Obviously, I've been in Italy the last 3 weeks. So, look, what it was is that, I traveled 24 hours. I was overnight flight. I was in between Austria and Qatar and all that. And then I still done the stream without any sleep yesterday. I came on and done the streams, but I couldn't do. I mean, I would kill myself if I'd done the 3 o'clock kickoff, 3 a.m. kickoff, as much as I wanted to do it. But I did manage to watch back the game this morning. I managed to wake up earlier, watch the game, see what was going on, see the performances, and I was delighted by a few of the performances, in particular in the first half. And I was happy about the balance of the team. Most importantly, the balance looked really good, in my opinion. And I think that's what Man United should try and deploy a little bit more, thinking about the balance. It's something that Sir Alex Ferguson would have done. Sir Alex Ferguson he wouldn't have individualized it. He would have said, okay, Bruno can't play number 8, so he's going to have to be off the pitch today. It's going to be in Mbumo and it's going to be Cunha. There's nothing wrong in rotating your squad, and that's no detriment to the players. There's no diss to the players that are not playing. It is a squad game at the end of the day. And I think what Man United need to do is they need to think more of a squad game rather than trying to individualize it every single time, because we are individualizing it all the time, and we need to understand that, Bruno is 31 and we need to try and move it around a little bit sometimes, you know what I mean? And I would like to see Mbumo and Cunha in that number 10 position. That's what I want to see. I think that's what it should be at the end of the day, and nothing else. And Bruno can play as well. But you know what? There's nothing wrong in rotating the squad, of course. Good morning, Randall. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Morning, Sal. Rasmus is useless. Keeper useless. Bruno give the ball away too much. Now, there's obviously rumours about Donnarumma going to Galatasaray, guys. Look, guys, if Donnarumma is available for a transfer, I know he's just signed I believe he signed a contract for PSG already, but there is hot rumours going around that Donnarumma could go to Galatasaray. If that is the case, and I don't believe it, I don't completely believe it, but if that is the case, Donnarumma should be coming to Manchester United. Manchester United do not miss out on a player like Donnarumma. He is the best goalkeeper in the world, hands down. So if he becomes available, he should be playing. That is it at Man United. That is it at the end of the day. I don't believe it. However, I do believe he's about to sign a contract at PSG, or he's going to sign a contract, or he hasn't signed a contract yet. But there is something going on there in regards to the talks between PSG and Donnarumma. Now, you could also say that it is a rumor, Donnarumma, of course. You could also say that, but you also could say that he's, trying to get a higher contract, trying to fish for a higher contract out of PSG and stuff like that. You can say that as well. But there is rumors going around. And if it is true, if there is an element of truth within these rumors, why are Man United not going for it? Why are we not going for it? Go for it. Go for it. He's a good player, of course. Saw some glimpses of Amarin Ball. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I saw some glimpses last season of Amarin Ball, but unfortunately, doing it in a friendly and doing it in a competitive Premier League game is a completely different thing, guys. It absolutely is. But it is, guys. It really is, important that we practice it and at least see some signs of it. It's good that we're seeing signs of it. It's good that it's some positives going into the game of going into next season, because that's what I want to see. Of course, we've got the next game, which I will be doing a watch along for us. Of course, we've got the next game, so hopefully we see a lot more. Mbumo won't play until the 4th game of the tournament of the window of this tour. I believe we will be playing in the 4th game. I think it's on August the 4th or something like that, if I'm not wrong. So he will be playing on that one. The next game is on the 31st of July, and then we're playing on the 4th of August. Of course, guys, so one thing I would say is that I'm looking forward to seeing Mbumo play. Absolutely looking forward to Mbumo play. But this morning, I woke up this morning, guys, and I want to talk about this because this is very disturbing. Very, very disturbing, guys. I want to talk about this. I have to talk about this, guys. I really do. I'm sorry about it, but I have to talk about it. It is very, very disturbing. Okay? And what is disturbing about it, guys? It is Arsenal fans. Now, look, guys, I have nothing against Arsenal and stuff like that. I have nothing against them. But you know what? When I saw this, guys, and I'm going to bring this up on the screen now, guys. When I saw this, I was absolutely just devastated because I think this is an awful thing. And it is.
I didn't see the. I was born in
what
it.
the what on earth? What in the God's green earth are these guys doing? These are grown men and women doing this kind of thing, guys. And I'm looking at this. I'm like, my goodness me, you absolute clowns. My God. No wonder they're the most unbearable fan base in the world, guys. I had to add that in. I'm so sorry to anyone who's affected by this video. But listen, guys, this is absolutely awful. I had to turn that off. It is awful. It makes me cringe. I feel like I'm basically scraping my fingernails down a blackboard. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. So my point is, Bruno is going to play 8, whether we disagree on the like or not. So I think under this reality, it's about making the best out of the situation we are in. It's a hard topic. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean that we don't talk about it, Held. We have to talk about it. Whether it's, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that it's not, it's wrong or right. At the end of the day, it's wrong that he's playing in that position, and we should talk about it. You know what I mean? We should talk about it. It is a problem that we have to have, and Ruben Hammond does have to have pressure put on him in regards to it, because that would show favoritism then, and we don't want favoritism at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean, Held? So at the end of the day, we should talk about it. You know, Bruno moving to number 8, as we saw last season, and you were here and you witnessed it, it doesn't work. And what Amram needs to say, and someone needs to tell him in the press conference or something like that, Ruben, Bruno is a number 10. Okay. It's pretty evident that Bruno is not the best number 8. The team looks unbalanced. Is there a scenario where Bruno and Mbeumo will be rotated? Is there that scenario? Or will Mbeumo be playing on the right wing? You know, and those questions are the questions that I want to see. I want to see these questions. This is very important, because we don't just accept it. You don't just become an accepting in the situation. You don't. Bruno's a 31-year-old. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and that's what we have to look at. And Bruno's a number 10. So at 31, you're moving Bruno to number 8. At 31, you're going to change his position, like moving Mark Hughes into the midfield at 31. You know what I mean? It's not going to work. Do you know what I mean? So this is the situation. Yeah, it's probably going to happen, of course. But do we accept it? No, we don't accept it. You don't, because at the end of the day, it affects the team shape and the balance of the team. We are here to win football matches, not to appease Bruno Fernandes at the end of the day. As good as he is at long shots, as good as he is at penalties, fantastic. You know what I mean? But it is a friendly at the end of the day. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be appeasing Bruno Fernandes or anyone else in that team, as a matter of fact. And I would say that. And that is the absolute gospel in regards to that. You know, and this question should be asked. We should speak about it. We should do. We shouldn't be resting on our laurels. Never. Absolutely not, guys. Let me just write this. Irfan, good morning, Salam alaikum. I hope you're doing well. Namaste, all Reds. Big up, everyone. Big up, big up. Hesty, what's going on? I hope that we can develop Kobe into a world-class player and don't turn it into a petulant kid like, you know, I don't think he would. I think he's got a different head on his shoulders, old Kobe Manu. I think he's a lot better of a person than the others. I think he is. I think he's a lot better. He's a better professional in my humblest of opinions. I mean, obviously, what I would say is that obviously I don't want to speak too soon. He's still young. Anything can happen, of course. And, you know, you have egg on your face at the end of the day. But I've always believed in Kobe Manu. I always believed that he's a good player. And I don't believe that you become a bad player overnight, because obviously his first season was poor, you know, was very good. Was very good. And I would say that, you know what, I don't think players become a bad player overnight. The next season, one season he's a brilliant player, generational player. Next season he's a dud. You know, I just don't think that at the end of the day, in my opinion, guys. But yeah, look, I hope he has a really good season. He adds balance into our midfield, especially with regard to in there. He adds balance, guys. He does. And to be honest with you, I don't think we should be writing off Ugarte. I don't think we should be writing off Manu just yet. Because at the end of the day, Ugarte is a very good player. Ugarte, before he signed for Man United, had the best ball recovery record in the whole of Europe, guys. Let me just tell you that right now. The fact that he came into a Man United team that was very unbalanced, again, unbalanced, key, yeah, very unbalanced, and you know what, having to accommodate other players and stuff like that. So now that he's got his preseason under his belt, and Manu's got preseason under the belt, I really hope that they go from strength to strength, and then we see them doing well for Man United, of course, guys. Absolutely, of course, absolutely. Guys, now I want to talk a little bit. Obviously, it is a transfer season, of course, guys. It is transfer season, so we got to talk about a few players. Now, rumour is circulating about a player that currently plays for Monaco, or used to play for Arsenal, but he is another Danish player, guys, and his name is Mika Bajref. Mika Bajref is a centre forward who currently plays for Monaco, as I said there. His contract expires in 2030. He has just joined Monaco, by the way. But rumor is that the Danish international, 4 caps and 1 goal for Denmark, is showing the attraction of Manchester United. Manchester United have watched Bayreuth last season and are deemed to be huge admirers of his talent. Now, guys, people are going to paint him with the same brush. He was born in London. He is a citizen of Denmark. Now, people are going to paint him with the same brush and say, oh, he's another Danish flop. He's another Rasmus Højlund. But you can't say that, at the end of the day. You can't say that Peter Crouch is the same as, for example, Wayne Rooney, can you? It's completely different at the end of the day. You have to look at that. But he is a centre forward. He has huge potential. His market value is about 30 million euros, guys. So that is quite interesting going forward. Having heard about this name in Italy last week, I didn't confirm it until I heard a little bit more about it. I'm starting to hear a bit more about Bayreuth, of course. Mika Bayreuth is another one that Manchester United have on a conveyor belt, of course, guys. But I have to mention the names. I have to mention who we're interested in. I have to mention who is added to our ever increasing transfer wish list, of course, guys. So that is a little bit of news coming in. Guys, absolutely. Elge, I don't think we should start one of the best attackers in the league or at right wing back and Bruno to fit and Bruno in camp. Bruno is going to start at Bruno and Cunha front. I think coaching a partner up on him is key. I think that's wrong, Elge. I don't think we should be doing that. This is exactly what I'm saying. Shoehorning players into positions, you know what I mean, and coaching a midfielder to accommodate Bruno. Mate, come on, Helge. Irfan, Bruno's second goal is who he is. If he focuses what is just best, and how can he do that, Irfan? Play number 10, right? That's where he is at the end of the day. When he's coming from deep, he can't do that. He's just going to get in the way of the Bruno and Cunha, isn't he? So if Bruno and Cunha are playing up there, what are we going to do? We're not going to move Bruno to right wing. We're not going to do that. At the end of the day, that's not going to happen. But that's a suggestion. That's what happens at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? But just because Bruno has a good shot, does that mean that he's going to, you know what I mean, change the whole game, the position of the game and stuff? When Bruno signed for Man United, he was a number 10. We were crying out for a number 10. Do you remember before Bruno came to Man United, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was there, we were crying out for a number 10. He came in as a number 10. You know what I mean? That is what it is. We can't just, at 31, put him in the midfield and say, right, you have to, train to work with him, and because he's not that. He hasn't got the attributes to be a number 8. If you watch football, there's certain attributes that you need as a number 8. Watch Paul Scholes, watch these players. A number 8 is completely different to a number 10, for example. You cannot, let me tell you, he needs to be coached as number 8. No one needs to, that is what Bruno needs to be. He needs to be coached as number 8. He's not a number 8. That is what it is. No one needs to be coached to play alongside him. He needs to be coached as a number 8, because when you're a number 8, Paul Scholes used to have 3, 4, 5 passes ahead. He knew what was going on, 360. He knew what was going on. All around him, behind, front, everywhere. And he knew when to make those forward runs. He knew when to run back. And that is what it is. Now, when you play a player like Bruno Fernandes, number 8, you're taking away the essence of what he is. And I think this question should be given to Ruben Amorim. I think this question should be given to him. Playing Bruno as a number 8, is that a problem? Because he does affect the shape of the team. It does. The imbalance is there at the end of the day. And guys, Bill, 58 watching out. Come on, Bill. Don't forget, come on, guys. Don't forget. Look how many people are you online. Don't forget to smash a like, guys. Come on, guys. We got everyone. APN, good morning. I like Dorgo. He's getting better than last season. We will still need quality striker and midfield, in my opinion. I like the way the midfield played yesterday. I think we should give him a chance, APM, but I wouldn't say no to a midfielder. I did say, however, that Man United are not looking at a midfielder at the moment. If we do get a midfielder, we will get him late in the transfer window, about the beginning of the end of August. And that would only occur if Man United accumulate some money, get some money back, and then they will end up signing a midfielder if we're lucky. At the moment, Man United are looking for a striker and a goalkeeper, of course. But that's not to say that we won't sign a midfielder down the line, of course. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, SD. Ruben said Bruno won't be playing the next game. He's not going to be ready. This is why they should have done the transfer quickly. SD, he will play in the 4th game, though, so that's a good thing. At the end of the day, he has to be match fit, doesn't he? He's not match fit at the moment. He hasn't played football, so you're absolutely right, Wyatt. We should have done the quick transfer a lot quicker. The transfer was too slow, in my opinion. I absolutely concur. I absolutely agree with you, my friend. I do agree with that. And one thing we should say is that, in regards to Bruno, is that we can't rush him. We don't want to get him injured. That is the one thing about it. And obviously, he has to have a little bit of training before he can play. He's just arrived in America. He's just arrived in the team. A lot of this team have had lots of training sessions, of course. Guys, absolutely. It's hard to explain what I mean in sentences. It's basic. I know what you mean. You're saying that we shouldn't talk about it because he's going to play there anyway, basically, and the team should be trained to play next to him. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying. It's basically just that I disagree with Bruno at number 8, but the reality is we won't get 100 million bid and then he won't even play number 8. I know, Helge. I know, Helge. You're speaking the obvious here. I know, mate. I know. I know he's not going to play number 8. This is exactly why we should pose the question. Why should he play number 8? I know we rejected 100 million, but if it's affecting the team, the question should be asked. It doesn't matter if it's 100 million, 200 million. The question should be asked at the end of the day. That is how it should be. It should be like that. Question we should ask, why should he play number 8? Right? Why should he? Because it doesn't work. It's proven not to work. So this question should be given to Ruben Amorim. What does he think about it? Because I'm not seeing this question. I'm not seeing this type of question coming forward, and that is the biggest thing for me. I think that this question should be given to him, but he won't. And playing Bruno as number 8, and everyone knows, and the dog knows, he's going to play because he got 100 million rejected. I spoke about this many times, so you know what I mean. Everyone knows that he's going to play, no matter what. I know that. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that we don't come on here and say, look, you know what? Should he play a number 8? Should he play a number 8? Or should we kind of move it into a number 3? Move him into the 3. Move him into like up front, or move him up front and move him down to number 10. That's the question we should be asking, really. Should we move Bruno up front and just take out the striker and move Cunha as a number 9 and play Bruno as a number 10? That's the question we should be asking, right? Because for whatever, I agree, he's not a number 8, and he should never play a number 8. And I don't think that anyone should try and be accommodating Bruno as number 8, because then it's going to affect the system, in my opinion. Big up, Sal. Do you think it could be more obvious to cleaners that we need a piece of a number 8? Indeed, we got a plan beyond view. That exactly, mate. I agree. I think so, but you know what? In my opinion, Coco, I will give Menu and I will give Ugarte a chance in those positions, number 6, number 8. I will give them the chance. I think they deserve it. I do. Let's think about this, guys. Last season, we came 15th. We lost to Tottenham in the Europa League final. And who was the captain of the ship? Bruno, Cunha, and Abumo, for me, is a nice problem to have. It is a nice problem to have. But it's also a big problem to feel, because it's not like the old days where we drop Dwight York or we drop Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and we drop Teddy Sheringham. Bruno plays no matter what. Right? So Bruno plays no matter where you put him in the wherever you put him, wherever he is, he's going to play. It doesn't matter if it stabilizes the balance of the team. Bruno plays. That is the problem. It's not like Alex Ferguson, where you know what, we need Teddy Sheringham for this game. So you know what, Andy Cole, you're not playing today. Or you know what, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you're going to play in this game. So Dwight York, you're not going to play today. It's not like those days. It's like, no. What we have to do, if Bruno can't play there, we're going to move him down to there. If Bruno can't play there, we're going to move him down to there. It's a bit like saying this, right? It's a bit like saying, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can't play today. Has to play every game, sorry. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to play every game. Whether he plays right wing back, number 8, this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer must play. And that's what I'm talking about. And I don't think any player should be guaranteed a spot in the team. And if he is guaranteed a spot in the team, regardless of performances, then it's detrimental. It's a problem with the manager. And that's what I would say, because at the end of the day, there you go. Bruno as a false 9 doesn't work, Kenny. We tried it. Doesn't work, unfortunately. Maybe Cunha as a false 9, of course. Absolutely. And Bruno Amorim would be good competition, as Amorim said. Bruno will compete well with Ahmad. Ahmad needs to improve, fan. Ahmad is not the finished article for me. I honestly don't think he's a right wing back. I don't think he's a right winger. I think he's a little bit overrated. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I'm going to be real as a Man United fan. I think that Ahmad is a tiny bit overrated at the moment. And I think that Ahmad needs to be put on the bench for a little while. And that is my humblest of opinion. Although I would prefer him as a right winger than Dalot. You know what I mean, at the end of the day. Absolutely. Big up, fan. Big up, Bill. Big up, everyone. Big up, Sal. Big up, Darren. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. It's all about how can we make the whole team work best, despite Bruno being a number 8. Sadly, that's the reality. Also, there will be injuries. All from especially he plays a number 10 sometimes. At the end of the day, look, you know what? The biggest problem Man United have right now is that regardless of what happens, if it's the full team there, he will play number 8, right? And that is the problem. He will play number 8. He will be the starting number 8, which is an issue. And if Ruben Amorim cannot see that, then there's a problem with the manager. And that's what I would say there. Because at the end of the day, Alex Ferguson, great managers, would not fit the player into a position that just quite clearly doesn't work. Got overrun by Tottenham in the Europa League final. You know what I mean? And that's what I would say. And we should not be making the same mistakes twice. I love Ruben Amorim. I think he's a great manager. But there are some decisions that define you as a manager. There are some decisions that make you, that elevate you as a manager. One of the decisions. Some of the decisions are unpopular. Some of the decisions are unpopular, and you have to make those decisions. But right now, as we stand, with everyone fit, we know what the team's going to be, don't we? We know it's going to be Bruno, Cunha, Rasmus, Bruno, Ugarte, or Casemiro. It's going to be, obviously, Ahmad right, Dortmund left, and there we go. You know the team. And that's where the problem happens, isn't it? You know, that player doesn't work in there. So what are we going to do? Are we going to change it up? Absolutely. Big up everyone, of course. Mainu looked sharp. Credit for the second goal. He looked good. I mean, I've always rated Mainu, of course. I think he is a fantastic player. I think he needs to be given a chance this season, of course. By the way, Holland game was massively overhyped. You know, I'm Scandinavian. I would love a redemption. Yes, he looked better, but he could have dressed and looked better. Look, at the end of the day, Helge, what I would say is this, right? We cannot, as I said, I'm not going to flip flop. I said after the Leeds United game, mate, that, you know, I'm not going to overreact. I'm going to take some positives from it, from certain players, and look at the negatives as well. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to take some positives in regards to what Rasmus did in regards to running and that. But then again, what I would say about Rasmus Højlund is that I saw this last season. If you scroll back to the last preseason, remember last preseason when we played Arsenal? You remember when he done that he went on that bursting run and he buried it in the back of the net? This is the thing, isn't it, Helge? You know, we can't take too much from friendlies. Look, I don't think Rasmus is good enough. I hope he's a resurgent. If we don't sign a striker, we're going to need him. No, but what I would say is that I just don't think he's good enough. I don't. But, you know, at the end of the day, what can we do? It's like what you're saying about Bruno. What can we do? You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But, you know, we can't just be like this. Like very, how do we say it? Dismissive in regards to the problems that are Man United. Rasmus, I don't think we could teach him into being a world-class striker, unfortunately. I just don't think he has the calmness, the technical ability in regards to his all-round play. You know, I just don't think it's good enough. And unfortunately, you know what? I just feel like, you know, he needs to go on a loan, or we need to accept an offer for him. Maybe something down the line, of course. Irfan, are we going to see a new goalkeeper compete with Onana for a couple who always had the best number 1, number 2s? I'm getting worried. I mean, at the end of the day, look, I mean, competing with Onana needs to leave, mate. At the end of the day, Onana needs to leave. I don't think anyone should be competing with Onana. Onana should leave. He's absolutely useless. Coco, the fact that we can interchange the front three is awesome indeed. We could do a number 9, Cunha in times of Bruno and Cunha times of 10. We could all get away with a striker if we get the best out of a number 10. That is a good point, but Arsenal tried that and Arsenal struggled, and that's why they needed a number 9. They always revert back to a number 9. You could do that, and it would be better than playing Bruno as a number 8 at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I would say that it would be. You can do that, but then again, you're going to be shoehorning players into positions that they're not really natural at, isn't it? Goal scoring is a completely different kettle of fish. Goal scoring is completely, you're born being a goal scorer. You're born as a goal scorer. You're born as a striker. And one thing I would say is that Cunha is a deep lying number 10. You can bring the ball forward, bring it in, and create things. Now, by doing that, we're going to sacrifice a lot in regards to our team, you know. But it won't be a possibility. It might be a possibility, Coco, that happens. I would say that I would rather have Bruno up there and doing what you said than playing Bruno as a number 8, because I don't think it was. I would rather play Mainu and Ugarte in those number midfield positions, or Casemiro or Mainu or whatever. But Ugarte and Mainu, something like that, you know. And we've been screaming out for that. But as we said there, we're caught in between a stone and a half place, isn't it? At the end of the day, and we have to do what we have to do, and we have to believe and we have to support what we have to support, because obviously Ruben Amorim is going to do the number 8 thing, of course, with Bruno. There's no excuse for not going for Douglas Luiz at this point. Big up Coco. I think Mainu and Ugarte need a chance. And Bruno should play number 9, so Bruno can play number 10. Fair point, Gums. Fair point. That is what I'm talking about. Waiting for Arsenal fans to melt down when Gutiérrez flops. Absolutely. I hope he does. Drives him mad. Absolutely. By the same notion, Mbeumo isn't a number 10 either. He's a side forward. Yes, he is Owen. He is Owen. But one thing you say, you look at characteristics of players, and he has played number 10, by the way, for Owen. He has played there. But what I would say is that he scored 20 goals last year. So it's obviously there's something about him that is more of an attacking number 10 or number 9. But he is an outside winger. And that's what I would say. This is why we mentioned will Mbeumo play right wing? It's a big question to have, isn't it? Will Bruno move number 10 and will Mbeumo play right wing? It's not really a right wing back. It is a right wing, isn't it? So will he do that? And that is a good question. It's good to have this debate because what is going to happen in this situation? Mbeumo is not an elegant number 10 who can get the ball and pass a ball through the eye of a needle. He's not that sort of guy, is he? At the end of the day, he's an attacker. He's an attacking winger, basically. That's what he is. Being deployed, but when you look at Ruben Amorim's system, let me say, when you look at Ruben Amorim's system, the two number 10s do split. They do go wide. You watch it, and they do overlap, and that's what I would say. But for me, I'm interested to see how it works. Let's see how it works. I really hope it does work, of course, guys. But what is clear here is that we look at Owen, we look at evidence. Evidence. Bruno has proven it doesn't work in a number 8. It is proven. That's proven. And Mbeumo has not proven he doesn't work in number 10. That's the difference. You know what I mean? That's the difference here. We're talking about proven players. Is he proven to be a number 8? No. He's been poor. He gave it the ball away in the Europa League final. He's not a number 8. Is he proven to be number 10? Yes, he's proven to be number 10. Hasn't Mbeumo proven to fail in the number 10 position? No, he hasn't. Not for Man United. Absolutely. Pick up the Chichi. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Good morning, Sal. United can integrate all of them. I'm at 8. I'm at 8. Bruno Fernandes number 10. Bruno at number. Ahmed is number 8. Are you sure, Edward GG? Ahmed is a number 8. He's too small, mate. Darren, all I can say is that the window has gone. We would be poorer without Bruno on the squad. The way the window has gone, yes, we would be poorer without Mainu. We've been poorer with a lot of players because our squad is so thin. At the end of the day, that's what we would say. But at the end of the day, what you have to look at things, from a realistic point of view in regards to, and be honest with ourselves. Is he a number 8? Does he affect the team? How do you know that Man United won't be better as a team without Bruno? You don't, because at the end of the day, as far as I'm aware, every time we haven't played Bruno, the last time we didn't play Bruno, we won 7-1. And that's what I would say. But yeah, and anyone who needs a squad right now, we are weaker for it because we've got such a weak squad. Stefan, our midfield is still worrying me. It can make or break the season, let alone our lack of class goalkeeper and striker. Yeah, I think a lot of things are worrying me, to be honest. To be fair, Ugarte does what he was recruited to do really well, just like when he was with Pisaka. He just needs to work on everything else, and when we may have a piece in our hands. Coco, I really hope so, because I do rate him. Absolutely, I do rate him at the end of the day. Dorgu, no doubt, was brilliant. Was brilliant, Kenny. You're saying the right things, Kenny. Absolutely, it was brilliant. Absolutely. 4-3-2-1. What about it? Fan? What's wrong with it? Dorgu is a beast, and will benefit having a preseason. I agree. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know why people are turning against him already. Still 4 weeks to get the number 9 and goalkeeper. I think we will be lucky to get another midfielder in. I don't think we're going to get a midfielder, Bill. I'll be honest with you. I agree with you in that sentiment. I think that we won't get another midfielder in. I think we're going to wait too late, of course. By the way, I agree with Ugarte. I think Ugarte de Ligt is going to be some of the most important players next season. I'm not fooled by the Twitter users who don't use their eyes. Ugarte plus, absolutely. Okay, look. One thing we would say about football is that me and you, especially, we agree on a lot of things. Me and Elge agree with a lot of things. We don't agree on everything. That's not about life. At the end of the day, life is about having disagreements and coming into a conclusion. The bottom line is, and let me clear this with everyone, we all want a successful Man United to go forward. That's what we want. Ultimately, we want Man United to win things and we want to be successful. That's what we want. Let me just clear that up. But absolutely spot on. People were turning against Ugarte last season for no reason. But people like me, people like Helge, people like other people, were seeing quality in Ugarte and Golga last season. Ugarte didn't have a preseason. Dorgu didn't have a preseason at Man United, and yet there were still people out there who were criticising. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my ears when I was hearing it. Absolutely disgrace. Disgrace. Absolutely. Big up Held, by the way, legend, of course. 3-4-2-1. Where was the pressing? Pivot Bruno in pivot in 3-2-4-1. Where when pressing Bruno 3-4-2? I mean, 3-4-2-1. When pressing? I don't get it, mate. What's going on? Gibbs, stop the complication, fam. Gibbs, why it snubbed the Spurs? Yeah, no, I mean Sanjay, they had a problem. They approached him illegally, apparently. So that is a bit of news. I've had news about another striker. Said, yes, I want to get into this. Big up, Lisa. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well, Sesko. Sesko does look the most likely striker option for Man United at the moment. Of course, not many would agree with this. It's not my first choice. Let me just clear that up, guys. But Man United will enter talks with Sesko probably start of next week. Man United will enter talks with Sesko, and most likely will acquire a striker. Whether that is Sesko or not, we don't know, but it does look more likely that it will be Sesko who will be playing for Manchester United next season. Now, there's obviously a lot of scenarios here. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Man United are after Nicholas Jackson, Sesko, Ollie Watkins. Those three players Manchester United are interested in, but Manchester United are also interested in many other strikers as well. This is what Fabrizio Romano said last night. So at the end of the day, look, it's going to be very interesting this next few weeks in regards to who Man United are going to sign, what striker we're going to sign, who's going to come through the door. And you know what? I'm very intrigued to see it. At the moment, I would put Sesko as the favourite to come to Man United right now. Not my favourite, but you know what? It is subjective. It is a democracy at the end of the day. I don't see him as the best, but you know what? I would accept Sesko as a striker because I believe he has a ceiling, you know what I mean, that can go further on, in my opinion. But Sesko does look likely to be Manchester United's #1 target, and he could be entering talks for Manchester United by next week. So we have to play that by ear. Let's see what happens with Sesko, because Sesko is obviously a big hot topic. Some people don't rate him. Some people think he's overrated. Some people think he's brilliant. Some people have called him world class on this channel, guys. Some people call him world class on this channel. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to say anything about it. We are a democracy on here. We argue, we debate, we this, we that. And ultimately, as I said, we only want what's best for Manchester United, guys. We only want what's best for Man United. We want a successful Man United. We don't want to be seeing any of this next season. We don't want to be seeing any of these Arsenal clowns going like this next season. Absolutely not. It'd be dreadful. It'd be a nightmare. Trust me, guys. I'd rather watch paint dry. I'd rather, you know what I mean? Goodness me. I'd rather take a bath in hot lava in the Vesuvio, guys. And I've just come back from Naples, so there you go. Coco. We also try a 3-4-2-1 if a no strike comes in. That will be to Bruno more. No point if he doesn't win games. Exactly. I don't feel my points about Bruno as another is coming out as I want. I feel Held. Like, at the end of the day, let me just say something, Held. You're right, Held. You're spot on. It's going to happen. It's a reality, Held. What you're saying is going to happen. What you're saying is completely 100% possible. It's going to happen. Bruno Fernandes will play number 8 next season. Let me tell you that. We will start the game, Held, next season. Bruno number 8, and Bruno and Cunha number 10s. 100%. I'm not even arguing that point. What I would say is this. Why can't we ask the question to Ruben Amorim and the pressers everywhere and ask them the question? There are questions about Bruno Fernandes as a number 8 and that it disrupts the balance of the side. Do you feel playing Bruno Fernandes as a number 8 affects the balance of the side, as evident last season when he gave the ball away and was positionally ill-disciplined? That's what I would say about that. Looking at Bruno as a number 10 is very obvious that he's far more effective as a number 10 and as a natural number 10. That's what I would say to him, Held. You know what I mean? And that's no detriment to what you're saying, and that's no detriment, because I agree with you. That is going to happen. But my argument is, why don't we pose the question? We can pose the question. Whether it's reality or not, we shouldn't just accept our reality. We have to start asking the question. We have to start pushing the question. Now, I wish I was at the press conference. Maybe Jamie Jackson will get me a spot in the press conference. One day I will be there, right? But at the end of the day, you know, I would ask those sort of questions. Not ask questions about Luke Shaw, which they asked the other day about, oh, is Luke Shaw's world class and things like all these crap questions that they asked. I would ask the questions that need to be asked. You know what I mean? Because these questions do need to be posed, of course. Absolutely. Big up, Kenny. Big up. Spot on, Coco. Big up, Coco. Big up, everyone, of course. We don't have to play Bruno's on 8 today. He is a number 10, which was better for the whole team. To be honest, we need to have a system without him in the team as well. And that's my point I'm making. But what Helge is saying is that he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. So we have to look at things for what they are. You know, you're right, Coco. You're absolutely spot on. We need to do that. And I think Helge agrees with you on that. But what we need to do is that, we have to understand that this is what Ruben Amorim's going to do. But my question would be, is that why don't someone pose the question to Ruben Amorim? So big up, Freddie. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. These are grown men. Exactly, mate. Exactly. Arsenal, of course. Absolutely. Eucharist might foul, be the most epic one. Arsenal fans will not recover if it happens. So they better pray he delivers from day one. Well, he's blocked at Brighton. He's blocked at Swansea. He's blocked at, Coventry City. So let's wait and see, of course, guys. We are hoping, of course. We are hoping. Hello, Baba Flossie. What's going on? Wouldn't we not have celebrated the same way had we got our first striker target, Victor Eucharist? Yes, Baba. Let me tell you something. But we wouldn't be doing that. We would not be doing that, Bubba. I would not allow Man United fans to do that because Man United fans do not do cringeworthy, disgusting things like that. We had a glimpse of it before with, Sanchez playing the piano and all that. But Manchester United fans, maybe we might do that, but we wouldn't be doing the old Batman thing with the little 5 to 6-year-old Batman boss. We wouldn't be doing that. Come on, guys. We've got to look at things for what they are. They're 40-year-old men running around the street like that. You know what I mean? Looking like, you've got what's his name? That guy, I forgot his name now. But the bald-headed fellow, he's been on the show, by the way. I forgot his name. Bloody hell. Absolutely. He's got those shorts on with those skinny little legs, and he's like that, running down the street like that. Bloody hell, someone called an ambulance, guys. There's something going on mentally here. Am I the only one thinking that? It's ridiculous at the end of the day. Goodness me. That AFTV Eucharist vid gave me absolute nightmares. People don't realize how long time these videos take to shoot. Meet up time, lots of organizing. Yeah, I was a video director, mate. I film videos. I know how long they take, and I know how much effort goes into the editing side of things as well, and how much choreography and take 1, take 2, take 3 happens. You know what I mean? Lighting, this, that. Oh my goodness me. They've actually gone out and done that and thought that was okay to do that. I mean, they wonder why people don't like them. They wonder why people cringe at them. Look, I'm not saying that Eucharist is a bad signing. I would love Eucharist at Man United. I'm not going to flip-flop on that. Of course I wouldn't. But come on, man. I mean, did you see the beginning of the video when he put that little tiny baby mask on, that baby Batman mask that he probably picked up on bloody Southend Beach or something like that? Oh, my goodness me. It was cringeworthy to the absolutely ridiculous levels, of course. AFTV was celebrating Eucharist like a trophy. I mean, exactly. If they win no trophies next season, my goodness me, they're going to get it. Good morning, Sal. Mainly was class. I agree with that. Ephraim, pick up yourself. I hope you agree with Gavin, which is the problem. Hopefully, Ephraim, he's a young player. We've got to give him an opportunity. He's a young player. We have to understand that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. We wouldn't celebrate that. We would actually put some money into the video, actually. We would actually made it into a good video. We wouldn't have people running around. Spot about Bruno, big up. Big up, UK Rap TV. Big up everyone who joined the stream today. Absolutely brilliant. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much again. And big up everyone who's come to the show today. We don't always agree, but it is always about that. And I have nothing but love for everyone in the stream, of course. Big up the newcomers, of course. Big up Brian Moran. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're well. Of course, let me just go through these. Real quickly. Aaron Morris, what happened? Yeah, what happened? Kenny, ask him the question. What happened? Let me just read through all these comments. Let me just get this. Oh, sorry, Darren. No what? Darren, you know what I would say to you, mate? I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. Well said. There you go. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. Brian, you're right. Rasmus isn't agreed. His time he's done here. He's never going to be the job. Time to leave. Pick up, Brian, my friend. Good to see you again. Of course. Friends, what's going on? Rasmus should be gone by January if he continues. Get ruthless. Get a striker on loan. We got Franz. How you doing? Welcome to the stream, of course. Franz again. Sesko is not the answer. There's a reason letting him go. There you go. Couldn't it be money, Franz? Maybe Leipzig want the money. I don't know. Maybe that's me. Good morning, my friend Peter. How you doing? I hope you're doing well, of course. Couldn't see the game, Sal. I mean, since Santorini. There you go, lovely Greece. For the last night of our holidays, I'm hearing Ugarte was our best player. I agree, he was our best player, mate. One of them anyway, but he had a great game. Big up, Peter. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Rasmus is finding it very difficult to cope with the Premier League. I agree with that, mate. And it's a big season this season, isn't it? At the end of the day, it really is, guys. It really is. And big up, Prince. What's going on? What I saw in the game is that Rasmus improved, but we still need a striker. I agree with that. Very good comment, absolutely, Prince Godwin. I saw some good things and a lot of things clarified for me. He's not a finisher, is he? He's not a gunman, I would say. Absolutely. Sal, I take Sesko, but we've got problems of Newcastle and their money. True. They are infirm as well. Of course, if they sell Isaac, they're going to be a problem, of course. Big up, Stephanie. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. See you again, my friend. Hope you're well. Let's get out to 50 likes today, guys. Let's not forget. Let's get out to 50 likes, guys. You absolute legend. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. And big up, Held. Much love, brother. All day long. Thank you so much. You need it after the 82. I mean, I need a lot more than that, Held. I need some physiotherapy or something because I'm on the brain. Physiotherapy on the brain. Is there such a thing as physiotherapy on the brain, Held? Held, don't flick the muffin, mate. Have a good day. Don't worry about it. We're gonna be there next season, regardless by hook or by crook. We're gonna be here watching it, guys. And our eyes may hurt. Our eyes may be sore, but we will still be watching, guys. We hope it happens. Absolutely. Big up, Held. You're absolute legend. Much love to you all, and thank you so much on the super chat and always supporting the channel, my friend. Absolutely, as usual. Cheers, legend. Absolutely, football's about subjective opinion. I would say that. And you know one thing about it, we always come to a conclusion, don't we? And we always say that, you know what, whatever happens, it happens. But one thing I would say about a lot of things, you know, one of the best players to ever to play for Man United over 15 years has been Bruno Fernandes. He's been Bruno Fernandes, and I'll always show Bruno Fernandes the maximum of respect, right? I know his family. I know everyone. I know his brother. I worked with his brother for 2 years. Of course, people know that. Of course, so that's one thing I would say. I'll big up everyone in the chat, and you fantastic things on there. Great ball knowledge. Big up Brian. Big up Ferguson. Everybody Ferguson. Especially Sal. Would you take Budimir if he can't get a main striker? He should be a cheap Ferguson. I'll take Vladimir Putin up front at the moment, guys. At the moment, at the moment, my friend, big up Bergerdorf. There are a lot of strikers that Man United could possibly go for, which is a little bit disappointing why we're not going for them, of course. Right? Absolutely, guys. I agree with that, Peter. I agree. I saw glimpses last season, Peter, but you know, this game I did see a lot, and we're going to see a lot, hopefully. Absolutely. There you go. It'd be peak, mate. Absolutely. Dundee Dusty, what's going on, my friend? Yora was man of the match. There you go, mate. Yeah, it's subjective at the end of the day. You think he's man of the match at the end of the day, guys. You know what? There we go, guys. At the end of the day, it is an opinion, and that is what football's about. It's all about opinions, guys. Football's all about opinions. Football's all about, you know what? Who's the best player? Who's the man of the match? Who do you like? Who don't you like? What favourite formation you like? What formation you don't like? And that is what it is all about. You know what I mean? But yeah, great opinions again, guys. Look, in regards to the formation, 4-3-4-4, 3-4-2-1, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, obviously that is going to be a bid thing next season. A lot of people are going to be speaking about the formation next season. But one thing we have to say is that we have to support. We have to support and we have to back it. Before Ruben Amorim came into the football club, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to flip-flop on it. I didn't want to back three. And many people on this channel knew that I didn't want to back three. And they knew that I didn't want that. But one thing I would say is, right, we got this. And this has worked in the past. So I'm going to hope that it works. And you know what? I'm going to back Ruben Amorim. And I'm not going to blame Ruben Amorim for what the shit show what is going on this summer. But that is where we are. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Please don't forget to put your notifications on. Please don't forget to smash a like as well, guys. Very important for the algorithms and stuff like that. And guys, keep it going, guys. I will be back for the watching on, we'll be back later on for Chatterboxer as well today. I will be back for the other watching on, guys. Hope you missed me. I mean, I know that's a big ask, but there you go. Have a great day, night, evening, wherever you're in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. I'll see you for Chatterbox later on. Take it easy. Peace.